What is a get-home bag and how does it differ from an EDC? What should my get-home bag consist of? Why would I need a get-home bag? If you've asked yourself any of these questions, I'm going to try to answer them for you. Join me for the next 10 minutes as we open and explore our get-home bag. What's up, my friends? Whether you're a survivalist, a prepper, male, female, believer, non-believer, Democrat, Republican, or none of the above, welcome to a channel that offers something for everyone. My name's Brandon, and I'll be your host with assistance from special guests for this and every other video that comes from this channel. If you haven't already done so, please check out our previous video, Choose to Survive, as it gives a little more information about me and this channel. So what exactly is a get-home bag? As the name implies, it's simply a bag that contains tools, equipment, and supplies to aid you in your quest to reach your home base during an emergency. For example, you're at your office and an EMP attack occurs. The electric grid is down and your car won't start. Now you must find a way to get from your office to your home where you can either shelter in place or bug out. In this situation, a portable, lightweight, easy to carry get-home bag may be exactly what you need. As opposed to an everyday carry or EDC, a get-home bag would typically consist of items that you wouldn't normally carry with you everywhere you go. For example, a get-home bag would probably include water purification tablets, a life straw, duct tape, some food items, a blanket, extra clothing, which most of us wouldn't carry to the supermarket or bank. Your EDC, however, might include these things like a pocket knife, phone, car keys, watch, and wallet. Some may go as far as to add some small tools and equipment to their EDC, such as a phone charger, portable charging station, lighter, sewing kit, flashlight, or any number of other items they may need to assist them during their daily routine. A get-home bag will typically include the items you may find in your EDC, but with additional items that may be needed for an extended journey. Just as a bug-out bag, which is the largest of the three survival packs, will include the items found in your get-home bag. Think of an EDC as a small kit for daily use items. A get-home bag is a medium-sized kit to get you through 2 or 3 days, and the bug-out bag is the largest kit to support you for up to a week. As you move up in size, you'll include additional items to aid in your survival situation. Now, depending on the time of year and your geographical location, your bag or kit may be very different than that of someone who lives on the other side of the country. For example, if you're in Florida, you probably wouldn't pack items for cold weather survival. Don't be afraid to deviate from recommendations you might find online as to the recommended gear to put in your get-home bag. Remember, this is your bag for your climate and your location. Pack it accordingly. Now let's take a few minutes to tear into my get-home bag. I'll take a few seconds to describe each item and why I find it important for my bag. Again, some of these items you may not find important and you may decide to leave them out so you can pack other items that you feel will be more useful for your individual survival needs. Which brings me to one last point about get-home bags. If you're with a group, each person in your group should have their own bag. Your bag should only contain items to aid in one person's survival. I wouldn't recommend creating a get-home bag to support multiple people, as it would probably be too large and cumbersome for the long-distance travel. Remember, a get-home bag should be portable in case you find yourself on foot. Okay, before we get into the contents of this bag, I want to put this bag on and show you a couple different ways to carry it. You're going to be surprised once we take everything out of this bag how many contents and supplies and tools are actually in this bag and on the outside of this bag. But I think it's important to show you how easy it is to carry and then show you everything that's in this bag. I would typically carry this, and I do have a knife here. I like that knife to be in the front of me in case I need to retrieve it for quick action. So what I'm typically going to do is wrap this around my shoulder and my head and bring the pack around to the back. Excuse me for the sounds on the mic. But this puts the knife right in front of me. This is a pretty lightweight pack. I'd say this pack weighs no more than 10 pounds with everything in it, including the canteen of water. The knife is right here in front of me in case I've got to take it out of its sheath and use it for protection or just to cut something that's in front of me. The bag sits back here on my buttocks region. It's fully supported. I don't feel any weight on the small of my back. All the weight is really evenly dispersed across my shoulders. So this is probably the best way to carry this particular pack. I will have a description of everything that's in this pack in the comments area below, or in the extra area below this section, including the type of pack this is. Now, I've had this pack for several years. Not sure if this particular brand is still available, but there's other packs out there just like it. So I'll put that information below. Another way I guess you could carry it is to bring it around and carry it more on the side, which again feels pretty even with the weight of the knife. It may be a little bit heavy on the right side, which some of you might find to be an inconvenience. Again, I kind of like it around the back where it feels more evenly distributed. So we're going to take this off, and I'm going to take everything out of the bag, lay everything out, then we're going to go through each individual item quickly. But I think it's best just to show you how I carry this pack and how easy it is to get it on and off. Okay, so now we've got everything taken out of the pack. I do have some items still attached to the pack that I would like to show you quickly. I'm a big fan of using carabiners, bungee cords, tape, zip ties, anything I can to increase the amount of items that I can carry. As you place items around the outside of your pack, makes it easier to get to these items, and it also again increases the amount of items that you can carry with you because you're not actually using a pocket to put those items into. A few of the things that I carry on the outside of this particular pack, and it may vary with your pack, is I have a knife on the back side of the pack. Again, that's just hooked to one of these straps. Down here I've got a whistle, and a lot of these things, as I carry this pack, I can whip this pack around me very easily and get to this stuff if it's not hanging right in front of me. We've got a flashlight. I've got, as you saw earlier, the K-bar knife. This is a military K-bar. And I've got a D-ring here in case I want to snap anything else to the pack. Moving around, I've got my water jug hanging on the side of the pack. And I've got one other item here, and that's an eating tool and also a compass. The compass sits in such a fashion on this pack when I carry it that I can easily look at this compass throughout my journey to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. So these are a few of the things on the outside of the pack. And so we've got 4 or 5 items that are conveniently stored and secured that really don't take up any extra room in this pack. So I'm going to set this pack aside, and then we're going to go through the items on the table quickly. I'll give you a brief rundown on what I have here and why I find it important. Okay, again, going back to what I said earlier, depending on your geographical location, you may or may not want cold weather items with you. I don't have a lot of cold weather items here. We're moving into the springtime here in my state. So I've maybe modified this pack a little bit and taken out anything that might be cold weather related. But we still do have some cold nights. So I have a beanie cap and a pair of gloves. Now, gloves aren't necessarily meant just for cold weather. If you're moving through brush, if you're moving across fences, if you're moving through debris, you might want to have a pair of good work gloves with you. So I will carry gloves with me regardless of the climate or the weather conditions. Another good item to have with you would be the N95 face mask. And I carry these specifically for flying debris. We don't know what kind of situation we're going to be in. We don't know what type of a natural disaster we may face, or man-made disaster for that matter. So the N95 mask will do a great job in filtering that air before we breathe it in. It's going to keep stuff from flying into our mouth, into our nostrils, and make our travel hopefully a little bit safer. And I'm not moving in any specific order, and you're going to pack your pack according to your needs and wants and desires, and that's why I didn't get into exactly which items went into each individual pocket of my pack. I want this to be unique to you, and you're going to pack your pack accordingly. But it is important for you to see everything that I carry. So that's why I took everything out of the pack and laid it out on the table. Okay, another thing that we're going to carry with us, obviously, which would be a convenience item, would be toilet paper. Using the toilet without toilet paper is not something that you really are going to look forward to doing. So you may or may not be able to find a usable toilet, a working toilet, and or toilet paper in your journey from where you're at to your home base. So we're going to make sure that we carry a pack of toilet paper with us. A poncho, depending on, again, your state, there's some states where certain months of the year it's going to rain pretty much continuously sometimes for 24 hours straight. And you may not be able to shelter in place for that 24 hours. You may need to move. So carrying a poncho with you is going to be a great way to move through that weather event and keep everything dry. Another thing that should be in every pack is a first aid kit. This is a small pack. It's very compact. It's not large. You're not going to treat any major injuries with this, but it's going to be enough to hopefully get you through whatever emergency you might face, cuts and bruises and so forth. This has a cold press in it. It's got Band-Aids. It's got some antibiotic ointment. It's got just the basic items that you would need to treat some minor cuts and abrasions that you might suffer through your journey home. Flashlight, in my opinion, you can't have enough light. We don't know if you're going to have to move at night. Are you going to be able to shelter someplace at night? Even if you're sheltering someplace at night, will there be electricity? Will you have light? So the more light that you're able to carry with you, the better off you're going to be. As I showed you earlier, I do have a flashlight on the outside of the pack. This one is carried in one of the pockets on the inside. Speaking of lighting, another piece of equipment that I carry with me is this rechargeable light. This is probably one of the best investments I've ever made. I've got several of them. I think I may have paid $20 a piece for these on Amazon. Again, this equipment will be listed in the description area below. This light is absolutely amazing. I've never had an instance where I needed this light and it wasn't charged. I don't charge them very often. It seems to me that this has probably kept a charge easily for a year. Anytime I've used it, whether it be in a survival situation or camping or just simply at home doing some projects, it always seems to carry a charge or have a charge. I've never once had any of these lights die on me. So I'm kind of amazed at how long these charges are kept, and I'm not sure what the specifications are on it, not sure how long the charge is supposed to last, but all I know is it works and it's ready to go anytime I need it. So I would highly recommend that you pick up one of these for your survival pack. These are great. They're a headlamp, as I said earlier. It leaves your hands free to maneuver and to move and to clear brush and stuff out of your way while still having that light in front of you. Drinking water, as you can all imagine, drinking water is going to be essential for your survival trek home. I've got a number of different things here that will allow me to have water. Number one is the canteen, the military style canteen on the pack. And I wanted to show you, make sure when you get this pack, this canteen, that you also pay a little bit extra money and get the metal cup that goes with it. This metal cup will allow you to mix food if you need to. You can cook food over an open stove. These were great when I was in the military. We used these on a daily basis when we were in the field. So when you buy your canteen, if this is the canteen you choose to carry, look for one with a metal cup or buy the metal cup separately because it will come in handy. Another thing that I didn't show you in this particular pack was my water purification tablets. Right here in the canteen pouch or in the canteen container, I've got these water purification tablets. The instructions are on the back of the bottle. I believe you drop 2 or 3 of these into a quart of water, let it sit for about 30 minutes, and this will kill 99.9% of anything harmful in that water. So I have used these in the jungles of Panama to drink water out of rivers. Some of that water looked pretty disgusting. I didn't get sick. I was able to stay hydrated. So consider purchasing some of these potable aqua water tablets. I picked these up, I think, on Amazon, and they're relatively inexpensive. And the shelf life on them is 2 or 3 years, I believe. While we're on the topic of water, I'm going to jump ahead kind of to the front of the table here and pick up my life straw. This is something I think every survival pack should have, whether it's your bug out bag, your get home bag, Any place that you have survival supplies, even in the glove box of your vehicle, the trunk of your vehicle, any place that you can store these, I would recommend having one. This is a Life Straw, which is a brand. There's probably others out there just like it that would work probably just as well. But this does guarantee to filter out all the bad things that can make you sick. So you can stick this right into a river, a stream, dirty puddle of water, any place that you can find water. This should work to filter out all of the stuff that would otherwise make you sick. So I highly recommend carrying something like this with you. No other means of purifying that water is necessary. You don't have to boil it. You don't have to drop in water purification tablets. Just drink right out of the water. So this is a great on the go. You're moving quickly. You need some water. Stop where you find it. Take out your drinking straw or your Life Straw and use that to stay hydrated. Energy and food isn't as big of a concern for me as some of these other items. We can go without food for a couple weeks. Water, on the other hand, you need to stay hydrated. 3 days without water, you're probably going to die. Food, we're only talking hopefully a 2 or 3 day journey, maybe less, to get home or to our home base, wherever you feel like you can survive. But I do choose to take some of these protein, or not protein, but energy bars with me. I've got 6 of them. Each one is 400 calories, so I've got 2,400 calories right here in this very small pack. I need a couple of these a day, and not necessarily a life-saving tool, but it's going to make my journey a little bit more comfortable. Anytime that you have a little bit more energy, you feel like you've got some stuff in your stomach, that's a morale booster. So I'm going to make sure I take these and keep these in my pack and consume these through my journey home. A map should be a consideration for your home state. We today rely on phones and GPS and Google Maps to get us where we're going. That may not be available in a survival situation. You may have to have a good old-fashioned map with you to figure out which streets to take to get home. You may know the area, but then again, there may be some barricades, some barriers, a natural disaster that blocks off certain streets, and it may send you down avenues that you're not used to taking. So a city map or a street map or a state map would certainly help you to find a way to get home. Bungee cords. I had these bungee cords wrapped around this pack here, which I'll get into in a minute. I like bungee cords. Bungee cords have several different uses. So when they're not being used to secure this pack, you can use these to help hang a tarp or anything else that you might find that you might need at that time. Maybe secure doors shut if you're hiding behind a door and you don't want anybody coming in through that door. Maybe you might be able to fashion some type of a locking system with the bungee cords around that doorknob. I'm not going to unroll this completely, but what we've got here is just a tarp, a 6 by 8 foot tarp wrapped around a blanket inside of a protective cover to try to keep it dry. The tarp will further protect that blanket that's inside. And wrapped inside of the tarp, I also have, let's see if I can get to that without making a complete mess here on the table. But I also have a pair of socks, just a pair of dry socks. And those socks are in 2 different Ziploc bags to keep them dry. And again, wrapped into the tarp to further help keep them dry. And this is just a great place to wrap up stuff. It could be the socks, it could be packs of water, it could be your map. You could roll up anything in this tarp, and again, that just extends how much stuff you can carry with you. So I just roll up my socks in the tarp. I'm probably going to change my socks out at some point, probably when I sleep or when I stop. Put on a new pair of socks, let the other socks dry out. And you'll see maybe here, I don't know if you can see it on film or on camera, but there is a plastic bag here at the opening of this blanket cover. I put that down there just to protect this hole so that water can't get in there and get to my blanket. Okay, since we've talked about blankets, I also want to direct your attention to these 3 space blankets that I carry. If something were to happen to this blanket or maybe my poncho, both of which I may rely on to help retain body heat in a survival situation, whether I'm moving or sleeping, I feel more comfortable having these space blankets with me. They're not going to keep you incredibly warm, but they should help to keep you alive through a cold weather situation. Also think about, in a survival situation, you may need to rely on bartering as a form of commerce to get what you want. Say, for example, you run out of water, you can't find water, but you come across somebody with maybe an overabundance of water, and they're willing to give you a cup of water in trade for something. So you've got some blankets here, you've got some other items that you could offer them, maybe a candle, maybe a glow stick, for that cup of water. So keep that in mind as you're packing your pack. If you can take more than one item, try to do so, because that may be something that you can barter or trade. Moving down the list, kind of going to the front here, we've got an all-purpose tool, kind of a Leatherman type device with a pair of pliers and knife and different things that most people would find important in a survival situation. Moving down the row here, we've got some duct tape. Duct tape is always going to be useful in a survival situation. I've got probably 30 to 40 feet of duct tape here, just wrapped around a square piece of plastic. Lightweight, takes up very little room. Again, 30 to 40 feet of duct tape may come in handy to patch or mend something. We've already discussed the life straw and the flashlight here. I'll stand that back up. Glow sticks may be important. These are 12-hour glow sticks. So if you want to mark your way, if you want to have a little extra lighting wherever you're sleeping at night, so you can see kind of what's coming at you. There's a number of different reasons why glow sticks could come in handy. Again, very, very lightweight. They don't take up a lot of room. Candles are extremely important, especially at night when you don't have light. I carry 2 candles. These candles each burn for about 6 hours, so I got about 12 hours of candle power. These come with a separate base so that the candle will stand up wherever you decide to use that candle. No survival pack would probably be complete without paracord, or 550 cord as some people call it, because it does support 550 pounds of weight. Paracord can be used for everything from helping to construct your shelter to helping to keep a door closed. Maybe you want to tie off a door so that somebody can't open it from the outside. I suppose you could use it for a repelling situation if you found yourself in that kind of a situation where you had to traverse down some type of an embankment and needed some help getting down there. So definitely have some paracord with you. I think this is about 50 feet of paracord, which should be enough for most survival packs. That's the pair of socks that we talked about earlier that's wrapped up in this poncho. We talked a little bit about bartering earlier, and the need to maybe carry a few items that you could use to barter, maybe get some water or some different tools or supplies that you might need. But I also like to carry cash. I carry just small bills, so 1s, 5s, and 10s, and this is $50. I would imagine that in any type of emergency situation, in the immediate few hours and days, that cash would still be accepted by people in exchange for maybe something that they have that you want. As that survival situation or emergency situation extends longer and longer, money will become less of a factor, and things like tobacco, alcohol, food, water, and other items would be more important to people. But make sure you carry just a little bit of cash in your survival pack, just in case it's going to be useful in your survival situation. I always carry a gun with me, and this is just a magazine with a few extra rounds in it. I don't typically carry an extra magazine with me, but I would want that in a survival situation, so I've got the 10 rounds in my sidearm, and then I've got another 9 rounds in this particular magazine. So something to think about if you do carry a firearm, bring an extra magazine with you. Sunglasses, not necessarily just for looking cool. They do work great if you're getting home and it's a sunny situation and you're traversing through the city and you want to have some sun protection or eye protection. I carry these mainly just to protect my eyes against blowing debris. Again, we don't know what type of situation we're going to encounter. We don't know how much debris will be out there and what will be in the air. So along with the N95 mask where I'm protecting my nose and mouth, I also want to protect my eyes. So that's why I carry the sunglasses. Okay, so moving along here with our table of items on this front row, we're going to come to our lighter, which I think everybody with common sense would realize how important a lighter could be in a survival situation, especially in a cold weather environment. I don't have any food items that you're going to need to use a lighter to cook with, but again, if worse comes to worse and you don't have a way to purify water, you got maybe a canteen cup, and you can boil that water for 20 or 30 minutes or however long you feel is necessary to make that water safe to drink. In addition to the lighter and the matches I have here, I also carry with me cotton balls that are soaked in Vaseline or covered in Vaseline. These things light immediately. Each cotton ball will burn for, I don't know, several minutes to help you get a fire started, so you can put some tinder on top of these cotton balls as they're burning. These are pretty much guaranteed to burn in any situation. So I'd recommend getting some cotton balls, soaking them in some Vaseline, put them in a Ziploc bag, and have those in your survival kit as well. In addition to the lighter and the cotton ball soaked in Vaseline, I also carry matches in a waterproof case. These are just standard stick matches, nothing special. Came out of a box of regular matches, but I also cut off the striking pad and put that down here as well, so you can open that up and strike your matches that are contained in this little case. We've got a couple more items here and then we'll wrap this up. Tylenol could be extremely useful, especially if you're running a fever, if you've been hurt or injured and you've got some pain. Tylenol is just a comfort item that's going to help you to get from point A to point B. It's going to help reduce that fever if you're running one, and maybe relieve some of the pain that you might be feeling from an injury that you sustained along the way. And the last item that I have that I find to be very, very functional and very useful is a charger. And this charger is small and lightweight, and this is another one of those items that once charged seems to hold its charge forever. I don't know of one time that I've ever pulled this out and it hasn't been fully charged. So I will put a link to this item in the description area. I don't at this time make any money from any of these links that I put down below. This is just for your convenience and to help you find these items. So I'm not any type of an affiliate marketer or anything, so I get nothing from these links. This particular brand is called an Anchor, and again, I charge that. I'll throw this in my pack, I'll throw it in a drawer, and a year later I pick it up and it still has a full charge. This will charge my cell phone, I believe, 2.5 times. It can be used to charge the headlamp that I showed you earlier. That's a rechargeable headlamp. And so if that thing dies on you over maybe 2 or 3 days of use, stick it on that charger and that'll power that back up. So I highly recommend you getting some type of a charger. I've got a couple different connectors on here for a couple different devices. So not only my cell phone, and whether or not a cell phone is going to work, that's yet to be seen. We don't know what kind of a situation we're going to get into. We don't know if our cell phone is going to work if the satellites are still operational. But there may be uses for your cell phone, and you may want to have them charged up. So instead of taking that chance, I would recommend having a charger so you can make sure your cell phone's charged if you need it. Well, that's going to do it for the contents of my pack. As I told you, you're probably going to be pretty impressed at all the stuff that I was able to get into that small bag. Please take a few minutes to share the contents of your get-home bag in the comments section below. If you deviate from the tools and equipment and supplies that I show in this video, give us a brief reason why you find the items you pack to be more useful. We can all learn from other survivalists and preppers, and I look forward to learning from you. For more tips, advice, and training to help you survive the unexpected, stay with me, watch my videos, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so you can be notified when I post new content. And when I find other survivalists and preppers that may cover content not covered here, I'll give them a shout out because my goal is to help you prepare for the unexpected. Please take a few seconds to leave a comment, introduce yourself, ask questions, or let me know if there's anything you'd like for me to cover on this channel. Until next time, be safe, be prepared, and be ready.